Right now, in this exact moment, millions of seniors across America are opening their mailboxes, checking their bank accounts, or logging into their My Social Security portal and noticing something different. Some are seeing a little more money than they expected. Others are seeing their Medicare premium eat into that extra cash before they even get a chance to spend it. And a shocking number of them have no idea that the rules that determine how much they receive, when they can retire, and how much of their check the government can touch have just gone through one of the biggest shakeups in decades. If you are receiving Social Security, planning to claim it soon, or you have a parent or grandparent who depends on that monthly check to survive, you need to hear what I'm about to tell you, because these changes are already affecting real people. And by the end of this video, you'll know exactly where you stand and what to do about it. Let's start with the number everyone wants to know first: the cost of living adjustment. Every year, the Social Security Administration looks at inflation and decides whether to raise benefits to help retirees keep up with rising prices. For 2026, that adjustment came in at 2.8%, a bit higher than last year's 2.5% bump, though still nowhere near the eye-popping increases we saw back in 2022 and 2023 when inflation was running wild. For the average retired worker, that 2.8% translates to roughly $56 more per month, pushing the typical benefit from around $2,015 up to about $2,071. A retired couple both drawing benefits moved from roughly $3,120 a month up to around $3,208. That might sound like good news, and on paper it is, but here's where things get complicated, and where a lot of seniors are getting blindsided. At the same time your Social Security check went up, your Medicare Part B premium went up too, and it went up by a lot more percentage-wise than your benefit did. Medicare Part B premiums jumped from $185 a month in 2025 to just over $200 a month in 2026, an increase of nearly 10%. Since most people have this premium automatically deducted straight from their Social Security payment before it ever hits their bank account, that COLA increase you were excited about gets quietly nibbled away. For some retirees, especially those on fixed incomes with high medical costs, the Medicare premium hike swallows almost half of their cost of living raise. This is one of those quiet, unglamorous changes that never makes headlines the way a big new law does. But it affects nearly every single person receiving benefits, and most people don't realize it's happening until they actually sit down and compare their December check to their January check and wonder where the extra money went. Now, let's talk about something that has been decades in the making and finally reached its finish line in 2026, the full retirement age. For years, Congress has been slowly, gradually pushing back the age at which you can claim your full, unreduced Social Security benefit. That phase-in started back in the 1980s, and as of November 2026, it has officially reached its final destination. If you were born in 1960 or later, your full retirement age is now 67, period, full stop. This isn't a proposal or a future plan. It's the reality for every American entering retirement from this point forward. What does that actually mean for your wallet? If you decide to claim benefits early at age 62, you're still looking at a permanent reduction of roughly 30% off your full benefit amount, and that reduction follows you for the rest of your life. On the flip side, if you can afford to wait until age 70 to start claiming, your monthly check gets boosted significantly above your full retirement age amount. For context, the maximum possible benefit at full retirement age sits around $4,152 a month in 2026. But if you claim at 62, that maximum drops to under $3,000. And if you wait until 70, it climbs above $5,100. That's a massive difference, and it's exactly why understanding your own personal full retirement age and thinking carefully about when to claim matters more now than ever. If you're still working while collecting Social Security before you hit that full retirement age, there's another number you absolutely need to know: the earnings limit. The Social Security Administration allows you to earn a certain amount of money from a job before they start withholding part of your benefit. In 2026, if you're under full retirement age for the entire year, That limit sits at $24,480 annually. Earn more than that, and the SSA will deduct $1 from your benefit for every $2 you earn above the limit. If you're reaching full retirement age sometime during 2026, the limit is more generous, $65,160, and the penalty is lighter too, just $1 withheld for every $3 earned above that threshold. But here's the important part that trips people up constantly. Once you actually reach your full retirement age, this earnings limit disappears completely. You can earn as much as you want from work, and it will not touch your Social Security check at all. So if you've been holding back on taking a job or picking up extra hours because you're worried about losing benefits, and you've already hit your full retirement age, that worry no longer applies to you. Now, for the higher earners and workers still paying into the system, there's a change to the taxable maximum that's worth knowing about. The amount of income subject to Social Security tax rises every year to keep pace with national wage growth. And in 2026, that ceiling jumped to $184,500, up from $176,100 the year before. That means if you're earning above that threshold, everything past $184,500 is not subject to the Social Security payroll tax. This matters for two reasons. It affects how much higher earners pay into the system each year, and it also plays into the ongoing conversation about the long-term health of the Social Security Trust Fund, which I'll get to in a moment because it's honestly one of the most important parts of this whole story. Here's a change that flew under the radar for most Americans but is putting real, substantial money back into the pockets of millions of retirees. And if this applies to you or someone you love, it could be worth hundreds of dollars every single month. The Social Security Fairness Act, signed into law in January of 2025, eliminated two provisions that had been quietly punishing public sector retirees for decades: the windfall elimination provision and the government pension offset. If you worked as a teacher, a firefighter, a police officer, or in another state or local government job that didn't pay into Social Security, and you also earned a pension from that job, these two rules used to slash your Social Security benefit, sometimes by hundreds of dollars a month, simply because you also had a government pension. That penalty is gone now, completely eliminated. More than 3 million public sector retirees are now receiving their full Social Security benefits for the first time, some getting retroactive lump sum payments to make up for years of reduced checks, and the Social Security Administration has been racing to process these changes, with a payment rollout worth over $17 billion completed well ahead of schedule. If you spent even part of your career in public service and you've been receiving a reduced Social Security check because of a pension, you need to check your account right now, because this could mean a significant and permanent increase to your monthly income. There's also a brand new tax break that could put real money back in your pocket if you're 65 or older. As part of a broader tax and spending package passed in 2025, seniors can now claim an additional $6,000 deduction on their federal taxes, on top of the standard deduction that was already available to older filers. This isn't a small thing. For many retirees, it could reduce or even completely eliminate the federal income tax they pay on their Social Security benefits. To qualify, you need to have been at least 65 years old by the end of 2025, and there are income limits to be aware of. Individual filers with a modified adjusted gross income up to $75,000, or married couples filing jointly with a combined income up to $150,000, can claim the full deduction. Higher earners can still claim a reduced amount, phasing out as income rises above those thresholds, up to $175,000 for individuals and $250,000 for couples. This deduction is currently set to run through the 2028 tax year, so if you're eligible, this is the time to make sure your tax planning takes full advantage of it. For those receiving Social Security disability insurance, there are updated income thresholds you need to know as well. In 2026, the substantial gainful activity limit, the amount you can earn from work before it puts your disability benefits at risk, rose to $1,690 a month for most beneficiaries. And for those receiving benefits due to blindness, that threshold is now $2,830 a month. If you're on SSDI and considering picking up some work, these are the numbers you absolutely cannot afford to get wrong, because going over them even slightly can jeopardize your benefits. And for the lowest income seniors and individuals with disabilities relying on supplemental security income, the maximum federal payment also increased slightly with the cost of living adjustment, rising to $994 a month for individuals and $1,491 for couples. It's a modest increase, but for people living right at the edge, every dollar counts. Now, here's the part of this conversation that nobody wants to talk about, but everybody needs to hear, because it affects every single person watching this video, whether you're 70 years old and collecting benefits right now, or 30 years old and just starting your career. The Social Security Trust Fund is projected to run into trouble by 2034. That's not a scare tactic, that's the current projection based on the latest reports, and the timeline has actually been moving up, not back, in recent years. If Congress does nothing to address this before that date arrives, the law as written would trigger automatic benefit cuts, with some estimates suggesting a reduction as steep as 23% for everyone receiving benefits at that time. Think about what that means for a moment. If you're depending on that check to cover your rent, your groceries, your medications, a 23% cut isn't just a number on a page, it's a fundamental threat to your ability to live independently. Now, historically, Congress has always found a way to act before Social Security actually runs dry, whether through tax adjustments, changes to the benefit formula, or further increases to the retirement age, but the political will to act keeps getting pushed further down the road. And the longer lawmakers wait, the more painful and drastic the eventual fix is likely to be. So what should you actually do with all of this information? First, if you don't already have a My Social Security account set up on the SSA website, create one today. It takes just a few minutes and it lets you see your exact benefit estimates, your earnings record, and any notices the SSA sends you, all in one secure place, instead of waiting for something to arrive in the mail. Second, if you spent any part of your career in public service with a pension, go check whether the Social Security Fairness Act changes apply to you, because this could mean a significant, permanent increase to your monthly check that you might not even know you're entitled to. Third, if you're approaching retirement age and haven't decided when to claim, don't just guess. Run the numbers for claiming at 62, at your full retirement age, and at 70, because the difference over a 20 or 30-year retirement can add up to well over $100,000 depending on your choice. Fourth, talk to a tax professional about that new $6,000 senior deduction, because tax software doesn't always catch every new provision automatically, and you don't want to leave money on the table that's rightfully yours. And finally, stay engaged with what's happening in Washington regarding the long-term future of this program, because the decisions being made, or not being made, right now will directly determine what kind of Social Security system exists when you or your children eventually need it most. Social Security touches the lives of more than 74 million Americans, and it's easy to feel like these massive, complicated policy changes are happening somewhere far away, in a courtroom or a congressional hearing room that has nothing to do with your daily life. But every single change we just walked through, the cost of living increase, the Medicare premium hike, the retirement age reaching 67, the earnings limits, the elimination of WEP and GPO, the new senior tax deduction, and the looming trust fund shortfall, all of it lands directly in your mailbox, your bank account, and your retirement plans. The seniors who come out ahead in this new landscape aren't the ones who are smarter or luckier than everyone else. They're simply the ones who took the time to understand exactly how these rules apply to their specific situation, and who made informed decisions instead of just hoping everything would work out. You deserve to be one of those informed people, and now you are. If this video just saved you from missing out on money that's rightfully yours, or helped you understand a system that honestly feels designed to confuse people, do me one favor before you go. Hit that subscribe button right now and tap the notification bell next to it. I release new videos breaking down exactly this kind of information, the changes, the deadlines, the hidden rules that affect your money and your future, in plain, simple language, no confusing jargon, no fluff. Just what you actually need to know. Social Security rules shift every single year, and if you're not subscribed, you could easily miss the next update that saves you hundreds or even thousands of dollars. So subscribe now. Join this community of people who refuse to be left in the dark about their own retirement. And I promise I'll keep showing up with the information that actually matters to you and the people you care about. What if I told you that right now, at this very second, there's a good chance the government owes you money you don't even know about? That a rule change buried in legislation from last year could be adding hundreds of dollars to your check every single month? And that most people watching this video are completely unaware it applies to them? Stick with me for the next few minutes, because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly whether you're one of the millions of seniors affected and exactly what to do about it before it's too late.